Hello, all wonderful Benites, but nobody's in here right now but me. And Mrs. Biggins is over here, and the puppies are here. I'm looking at zero. Now I have one person. They shall begin to flow in because when Nigel speaks, I hear violins. What a great, great song. You're a great mother to our children. The luxurious doggos. We shall see who shall join the chat tonight. And we can talk about our day. And if anybody had a good weekend, our weekend was busy as usual. And there is Phil, as reliable as the sun rising and setting every day is Phil Chestnut. Hello, Russell. Phil says hello, Holly.
Hello.
My day was busy as usual. I wouldn't say it was great, but it wasn't bad. So if you don't have a bad day, you have a good day, right? Although it's early, I still got 3 to 4 hours for it to become a great day or a terrible day. When Smokey sings, I hear violins. I used to think that said violence.
Violence?
Yeah, I don't know why, but also like I used to hear Janaea says hello and good evening, Nigel, Holly, and friends. Good evening to you, my dear Janaea. Natale. And hello, Sarah Ann. Blocks MC as interviewer. Welcome. It's I went to see cousin Darty today. And hello and welcome, Blocks. And I must admit it was a little sad. She could barely hear me, yet she would talk in a whisper. So her roommate isn't very hospitable towards her because, well, quite frankly, Darty isn't the nicest person to warm up to. And she's frail and she's skin and bones. She's also 88 and 2/3. So she's had a very long life. So I just get the impression we may be watching. Well, let's face it, she's closer to the end than she is to the beginning because I don't know any 176-year-old people.
Not yet.
That's true. Science will one day get us there. And the thing about science is that you know, they'll make the quality of life so that you'll have a great quality of life until you're like near the end. Hello, Cherie. And her white count was high, so they think she, or low, they think she might have a UTI. And it's the second time. I visited her last week and this week. And I really didn't visit her a lot from when she went in the hospital to the nursing home at the end of November up until about 2 weeks ago. And that's for a couple reasons. Number one, it's not close or easily accessible. It's not difficult, but it's it's not close. And the second reason is because she was being very stubborn. But I'm not going to torture an old lady on her deathbed. The staff there seemed really nice and receptive to her needs. She wasn't comfortable in the position she was in, and hello, Mousapar, and the aide that came in was very gentle and moved her around, and it was nice. It is another beautiful night out here. It's sunny, and we have a breeze, and I guess it's like 75. Oh, Phil, thank you for your donation, by the way. You can see that the our total goal we were trying to raise was 2,000. Actually, you know what? That's the wrong amount there. That's the right. You've done above and beyond, so it does not go unnoticed. Had an uncle pass a little over a year ago. Been there. Well, she's actually my cousin. She's my second cousin, who's 2 years younger than me. She's his aunt. The family has a very weird timeline. My her cousin Doherty's mother was my aunt, and she was 24 years older than my mother. So my mother, hi Ronnie, and cousin Doherty were 2 years apart and were kind of like sisters growing up. Although my mother was actually her aunt, and so now her nephew is my cousin, if that makes sense. Cousin Doherty is my cousin, but she was my mother's age, and she's my second cousin's still family, yes, but um, he she's my godmother. I don't know. It depends on your religion, and also in a lot of cases your nationality. And by that I mean, like, I don't know if nationality is the correct term. If you're referring to somebody as Italian, how
Yeah.
are you saying that's their nationality?
Yes.
Well, like in Italian families, and not just because the movie named The Godfather. Godfather has a lot more significance. No, Ronnie, she's not good, but she's still with us. So she's we had a couple members of the Benite family experience loss in the past 2 weeks. Now, it's not my loss to speak about, so I mean, they told me about it, and it was very sad to hear, but it's not something I can comment on unless they want to comment on it. I spent another day straightening up the. Oh, thank you so much. I got an update to the donations here. Thank you, Janaea. Oh, wait, I gotta change that. Wait, we gotta. Now I've got to. All right. Thank you very much for your donations. I appreciate it. Sarah and Janaea and Phil earlier today. I'm going to reboot that camera. My one camera's having trouble staying connected, and that is normally corrected by a reboot. If it connects at all. Hi, Fender. I'm probably going to have to go down and unplug this, but I won't do that while we're broadcasting. So we're watching um, House of Dragon. We're getting caught up because Sunday night it comes back on. Loving the birds and sun over there. We do have sun. Well, it's near sundown, and you can probably hear the birds. I am going to have to reboot that camera. I'll do it later. And House of Dragon is so well done. This year, though, they only have 8 episodes, and they start Sunday, which, summer seems to go too fast. But the reality is that with this starting this weekend, it won't finish till mid August. We've got a couple people watching Bad Ben TV right now. They're talking about it's going to be a super hot summer. So I'm actually cleaning up the studio downstairs, reorganizing it so that I can move this downstairs for the live broadcasts and use the other computer up here for the back deck broadcast. Holly had trivia last night, which I won't ruin tonight. But what has become the number two? It has just moved into the number two spot of most popular soft drink. Is number one Coca-Cola, huh?
Yes.
Coca-Cola is number one. Pepsi was number two for years. But something just moved into the number two spot.
You weren't at all surprised, though.
No, because I read the same thing. You and I, because we're always sending each other the same shit back and forth on Instagram, it's made the algorithm so that we start seeing the same thing. Okay? I'll tell you what it is in 30 seconds. Fender's putting in a guess. I bet you she Googled it. No, it's not Dr. Pepper. Actually, it is. Fender, did you honestly guess that? Did you honestly guess that, or did you Google it? Because I gave a lot of time. I'll believe whatever you say. LinkedIn. Oh, that piece of shit. My riding lawnmower is broken. I need to have it repaired. The end of this week, I'm supposed to call the guy, and he's supposed to come get it. I used to get heartburn from Dr. Pepper, but now I would only drink the sugar-free or the diet. But I still get heartburn from it. My drink of choice is caffeine-free Diet Pepsi. Because when I drink Diet Coke, I'm sorry. When I drink caffeinated, I have poop. I'm being honest. But in the morning, we used to get a Dunkin', and it was an iced coffee, which was caffeinated, and I'd have a Diet Coke, and it was a double. I have the hiccups right now, and it was a double whammy of caffeine, and I could make it about 15 minutes, and then suddenly, with a reckless abandon, the need to who would come along.
A lot of information we just gave.
That is a lot of information, but the Benites and I are tight. We're like this. Uncle Nigel, Fender called me. That's a little bit creepy. Not that you're calling me that, but like, you can't see if I even have pants on.
He doesn't.
I have shorts on. But I can't show my legs because Fender says they look like two chalk sticks. How dare you!
Who?
Fender, for calling my legs, saying they look like white PVC pipe. Sheree, I know you're working. You said on Saturday, the next 3 days you'd be working. I think you said Saturday. So you should have been working today. How many babies we have so far? And just for anybody just tuning in, Sheree and I are not having children together. Sheree delivers babies. Ollie wants me to Tracy Morgan her.
No.
I'll put a baby in her. She sleeps with a weapon, a knife, and her cat is in a back cat. Off today? Ah, who the hell's delivering babies in? Sheree, as a professional, looking at the size of my head, do you think I'm hydroencephalitis? How dare you? Come over here and say hi to me. Come here. Come on. They want to see their Archer. Come on. Are you coming up? There he is. You just wrecked everything.
What the fuck did I do?
You moved, and that made him hot. You only had one baby yesterday. People ain't doing it out there. Archer, Aunt Ronnie said, "Come back. Come on. Come on. You can't get up from that side. Come over here. Come on up. Come on. You can't do it from that side. Come here, honey. There you go. There he is. There he is, Aunt. Look. Look. He looks good. He feels so loved by the demo. And he is. And he is. Great, sweetheart. You love being the show mascot, you and your sister. Block says hello. Look. Hello, Block. You smell so clean. You don't stink like a dog. Apparently, 9 months ago wasn't a popular time to conceive. It's been slow this month. Well, let's see. It's June, so that would have been last September or October. We're June 10th. September, October, October, November, November, December, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So it would have been September, mid-September. It was Labor Day. People were drunk. I have had uh, my best friend, him and his wife had a baby in February. So that would now make her 6 months old. A friend of mine that runs the local business we frequent, he had a baby in April. Cherie has assured me that I don't have hydroencephalitis. I was just blessed with a large head. I'm going to leave my body to science and let them put my skull on display in a college, and people can marvel at it and say, "Good Lord."
Your head's not that big.
My head is gigantic. Thank you for trying to make me feel better about it. My head is so big that I saw 8 millimeter film of my mother before I was born, walking normally, and afterwards she looked like a cowboy. Like she had been riding bulls her whole life. Amazon Elf has entered the chat. Get ready. Buckle up, people. You're a good man, Nigel Brown. How dare you call me Charlie Brown? That's all right. I was called Charlie Brown as a kid. Only thing you know what? I need to get yellow T-shirts with the Charlie Brown stripe on them. And I'll write on each peak and valley, I'll write Nigel has a giant head. When Smokey sings, I hear violins. Get the bowling version. He had a bowling or a bowling shirt. I bought a baseball shirt the other day because it was on clearance at Target. And I looked hot in it.
Love it.
Holly said I looked athletic.
It's hot in it.
She said I looked like an athlete. And I said, would you like to play with my balls? I meant baseball. I don't know what the hell you meant. A Boeing shirt. I know you meant bowling. It's so nice out here, folks. I hope it's nice where you're at.
Here, I'm going to send you a picture.
I can't share it
Why?
because I can only show it on my phone.
Well, it's for you.
All right. You're mean. People say love is the best feeling, but I think finding a toilet when you're having diarrhea is better. What the hell's going on in her mind?
Just made me think of you.
When I think of you, I think of diarrhea. That's what cousin Dorothy called it. Fender says the air conditioner is fighting to keep up. we were able to, well, these things are curtains. They're magnetic in the middle, so you see there's no window there or anything. But when they fall shut, they close. And it's pretty thick plastic. And this allows the dogs to come and go as they want in and off the. Because recliner poo to the rescue. You got that right. Sable loves the back deck. They're cheap. I got them on Amazon. These are 3 years old too. They've held up pretty good. I do want to get new ones though. Um, at least, this set has a hole in it. I can put a piece of duct tape over the hole. Scott had his. No, it's not bubble wrap. It's just like a mosaic pattern. But the magnet's really strong. All you do is you put them over your door, and there's tacks you put in to the door frame if it's wooden, and that it was very easy to set up. And like I said, we've had it now like 3 years on each of the doors. The thing this morning, they're not layered with a screen. You can get the same thing that's just screen, and a lot of people do. Um, and again, it's not for the purpose of humans. Well, it is kind of because the screen, if the screen is zippered, to have to stop and unzip it and zip it every time you go through is a pain in the ass. Whereas these, when you pass through it, it then falls shut because it's weighted magnet and they seal. But like I was starting to say, Sable's routine now is in the morning when I get up, I take her out, and then I bring her up and I open the back deck doors and I go take a shower so she can get out here and watch. And 90% of the time it's not a problem. But once in a while she'll see something out there and it'll get her riled up. We also watched Godzilla -1. We're watching The Sopranos, rewatching them. I've seen all The Sopranos. Holly has seen a lot of them, but not all. When Smokey sings. Oh my God! Archer, there's everybody looking at you. The fans. This is Archer's nose. Come close. Today, and I've shown you this before. This is for measuring blood sugar, monitoring it. You stick it on your arm. It's a little filament goes in when you fire it on, but you don't feel it, and you really don't notice it once it's there. And that way you can either monitor your blood sugar with your phone, or if it goes high, your phone will sound an alarm to let you know it's going high. I think I've got an ingrown hair on my neck. Sure, everything. That was just lamb chop being briefly attacked by Archer. Scott started Stella Adler today, and he's actually in class for another 30 minutes. It's 11 in the morning till 8 p.m. I think. At least the first day was 11. Did we watch anything else, Hop?
I think so. We started the second episode of Midsummer Murders, and that's it.
She's watching Midsummer Murders on. What's it on?
Well, the episodes I've been watching are on YouTube.
Or on YouTube? Are you watching on TV or your phone?
TV.
Amazon Elf has re-entered the
Oh,
chat.
boy.
You know, think of all the interesting benefits and their interesting jobs and hobbies. The Fitches are witches, which I think is kind of funny that it rhymes. Cherie delivers babies. Becky works at a poultry farm that processed 40,000 turkeys last year at Thanksgiving. Godzilla -1, I agree, Amazon. It was very well done. It was reflective of the old Godzilla movies. Excuse me while I text my day. Late Night with the Devil was great. That was a Shudder exclusive, wasn't it?
Yes. That is true.
You know, a great movie that's a great channel that's got a lot of exclusives is POV Horror. You guys have seen Michael in here many times. Um, that's his channel, and they have like that one, the Cannibal. What's it called?
Holocaust?
Cannibal Holocaust. I know I have an ingrown hair. I'm going to have to get at it with the tweezers.
Ew.
Oh, it's so satisfying to remove an ingrown hair, though.
No, I don't agree with you. Okay?
I'll let you do it.
No.
What if I'm in pain?
I don't want you to be in pain.
Then just operate on it.
With what?
Tweezers.
Me? Oh. Oh.
That's Holly making love to the dog.
Love you so much, little boy.
We're up to 60 viewers, 59 at the moment. Not counting the people.
Oh,
What?
I know you were talking about House of the Dragon, but have you heard the rumors flying around the interwebs?
Which ones?
Well, that the next Game of Thrones book is close to being released after 13 years.
You think you'll end it different?
He said he's going to end it different.
So she's not going to die, probably. He'll probably have her taken.
And it won't be fucking Bran as the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms. Fucking waste of space.
People are very cruel to that kid.
I'm not being close to the kid. I'm talking about the character. It has nothing to do with him. Don't make me feel bad for having an opinion.
About, well, you reckon the kid's acting for it because people listen to you.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Nobody listens to what I have to fucking say.
Me has entered the room and says, "Hi, Nigel. I love your film." Me, I don't remember ever seeing you in here before by that name. So welcome. Thank you for loving my pool. My pool. Thank you for loving my films. And I love you too. I love you for watching.
Everybody loves.
Not everybody loves me.
Why?
Because I sometimes read the comments on Amazon. Actually, I haven't read the comments in forever. But the comments can be funny.
Tell me who they are and I'll go and beat them up.
I already got banned.
I remember. That's kind of badass when you think about it, though.
Well, it's funny. Did I ever tell you guys the story about how I got banned? Ooh,
Probably never did. Or if you did, it's been a long time. I love the story.
hang on, I'll tell it in a second. I just got yelled at.
I know.
Now that the water bill is passed due. I don't know how that happened, so I put it in my calendar. What did she say? Are they out next door?
Table, relax. Relax. She only saw a fucking squirrel. Oh, they are next door now.
Sable. Oh, God.
Come here. All right, come here. Let's go. Run this energy out of
Did you hear what's going on here, folks?
you. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
All right. I paid the water bill. Your dogs heard my dogs barking, and now they're carrying on. All right. That's done. Let me save a copy. I save all my receipts. That's one of the suck ass things about running your own business. I don't remember the water bill ever being a problem. Today is my nephew's birthday, and Friday is his father's birthday. Where is Tracy and Crystal? Amazon Elf has re-entered the chat. Had to text their bay. "45 minutes we've been on." What's that say? Pause. Uh-oh. Let me see something here. Utilities. Keychain. Uh-oh, there's two of them. There it is. I'm now back signed in. But yeah, like I was saying, POV Horror is a good channel to watch. Also, we're expanding, folks. We got so much going. But I've got a little over a week. Well, I got more. I got like 10 days to finish part 2. Who you yelling? Me? What? About getting banned? I'll tell it when you come back up. About who? I can't hear what you're saying. Arby's. Oh, I love Arby's. So today, when we went up to visit cousin Doherty, I asked Holly if she wanted to go. I said on the way back we can stop at Five Guys because she loves Five Guys. And then she said, we could go to Arby's, and I'm like, yeah, because I love Arby's. And there used to be one right here at Summers Point. It's now a Chipotle, and for 20 years it was a Boston Market. And so I said, yeah, we'll go to Arby's. We drive in there. Parking lot's completely empty. When we pull up the side, it's got a for rent sign, and the Arby's logos have been removed. So I was depressed. So we went over to Five Guys. $11 for one cheeseburger. I'm a little parched over here. Come on, sweetie. Look at this over there. God damn. Here she comes. To help her husband. Thank you, darling. And so I'm going to tell you the Amazon story for those of you that haven't heard it. I've only told it about 100 times. But how I got banned from it. If I was to buy rubber bands on Amazon and then I try to review them, I can't. I haven't been able to leave a review in 8 years. Here's the reason why. it's all tied. My Amazon account is tied to my Prime Video Direct account where I upload the videos. So it all goes back to when I first put Bad Ben up. My first 5 reviews were 5 stars. People loved the movie. I was on cloud 9. Then came in the 6th review. And the 6th review was 1 star. And it was scathing. Because, I'm the only person in Bad Ben and in the original. And in the description, I talked about how it was made by Nigel, produced by Nigel Bach in his own home as the only person in it, the cameraman, the editor, the actor, the writer, producer, director. And this person writes, "This is why people hire professionals to do a film and not do it themselves." I don't find this film entertaining. I don't find it good. Went on and on. So I don't know how anybody gives it a 5 star review. So I'm crushed by this. So I don't know if you know this, but your purchases, unless you set them for private, people can then go look at they can click on your name and see purchases you've made. So I'm trying to learn something about this person because I took this person off. And it turns out, amongst the different things, first of all, she's watched a ton of movies and reviewed them. But one of the things she purchased that I could see that was open to the public, she had previously purchased work cream. So I can reply to when somebody says, "Oh, this movie was terrible, done by one person, blah, blah, blah." So I write back, wait, it gets good, folks. So I write back to them, "I'm sorry you didn't like my film. And good luck with your warts." So she gets offended by that. And she writes back, "I'll have you know, I have a great dermatologist and my warts are fine." So what do? I go back and delete my comment. So now what it reads is her first comment, "This is why people hire professionals. I don't see why people like this film. I thought it was terrible. It wasn't scary and all that. And I'll have you know, I have a good dermatologist and my warts are fine." So without my comment in there, you see her make a comment about she hates my movie and that her warts are under control. So I made her look insane. Got me banned. Got me banned. True story. Of course, Amazon will still allow me to buy shit because it's spending money. And Mitch of the More Mitches did a TikTok yesterday where he said he was bitching about Jeff Bezos. He says, "Why, when you have all that money," he says, "Amazon's webpage looks like shit." He says it looks very like old fashioned and not very modern. And why would a guy with that much money, like instead of trying to fly to space, not like try to cure cancer or something or baldness? Which was a little brutal. He may find himself on the receiving end of the ban. You never know. We're at 68 viewers. It's 60 viewers. $30 a person could wipe out our fundraising goal. $15 a person could cut it in half. $5 a person would be $300. $1 per person would be $68. So how about it, folks? How about just a little something, something? Bezos didn't sell Amazon. He took himself off as the CEO and he made himself something. He's still in control. And he does a lot for charity. His wife, however, what the hell is that on the screen? There's a line on the screen. Oh, I know what that is. It's gone now. That, you can't see it. But it was because I was over the chat room and it showed the outline. And there was when I first bought the first flat screen TV I ever got, I thought we were a big deal because we had a 35-inch, but it was the square one. And they just started coming out with flat screens. And I bought one. It was when I was taking care of my mother. I bought one off QVC because I could make payments. And it came. I hooked it up, plugged it in. Up comes this beautiful picture, and instantly a line goes up the screen or across the screen. So I had to take and ship it back. And I decided instead of, risking it again, I went to Walmart and I looked at the wall and I saw the TV with the best picture I liked. And I bought it and brought it home and set it up. Amazon, you donated. I know. It'll be nice as the Roku channel continues to grow and the Fire TV channel continues to grow. It'll be nice when I can stop always begging. But I can't do these without your help. And I have one fan. She's a teacher in the United Kingdom. And every film I do, she donates $1. And that means a lot to me. First of all, the exchange rate is crap for them. And second of all, the fact that she thinks of us every time. And on Facebook, I have 10,000 people that follow Bad Then Movie. Oh, God. I should have taken myself off camera. Well, somebody ordered a cameo for Father's Day. I don't mind doing them. I enjoy them. It's for a birthday. Oh, that's a nice one. I'm not going to say because in case the person it's for is watching, I don't. Amazon Elf says you have a bespoke streaming channel. What's that mean, Holly?
What?
I have a bespoke streaming channel.
Self-made.
Self-made. That I do.
Like handmade, privately made.
Like the Handmaid's Tale? I'll start wearing a red cape.
Made just for you.
It's made just for you, folks. Just for you. And if anybody's got anything to sell, I'm giving 100 spots commercials for $25. And that doesn't count the fact that I'll play them here in the lives too. When Smokey sings, I hear violins. Cherie, you know what I was looking at today? Your Bad Ben tissue holder. I'm cleaning up the studio downstairs, preparing a more intimate set. And there it was. Hey, Crystal, I was talking about you earlier. Crystal had a yard sale this weekend, and it was so big that they had a 10 by 30 tent to hold it in. And little T, who, by the way, you know how I sold the T-shirts in the movie with the picture on them? I sold 4 of them. So far, you've seen 1 of them. You're going to see 2 of them in part 2, and you're going to see the final one in part 3. One of the T-shirts that sold was Little T, who's Crystal's dog, who's adorbs. And Little T was the official mascot of the yard sale this weekend. Gotta be careful, Crystal, that nobody picks up Little T and says, how much? I haven't refilled it yet, Cherie, because for that reason, I meant to email you one day to say, what do I do for refills? Just buy a square box and take them out and shove it in there. Um, I haven't opened it. I've used a couple of the tissues, um, but I keep another box of tissues down there because I don't want to run out of the Bad Ben. Oh, I know you won't sell them, Crystal, but people could pick them up. But with the power of the Benites, we would. Oh, you know what? Can you guys hear me okay? Hang on. I need to move the mic. Let me make sure my mic's working. Testing 1, 2. What the hell's that not working? Testing 1, 2. There it is. It must have just come loose when I moved it. Little T wanted to know if you would be his uncle, Nigel, and if Holly would like to be Aunt Holly. Sure. Now, let me remind Little T that Father's Day is coming up on Sunday, and Little T should celebrate their uncle. Now, Crystal and her family's done plenty. I can't get that song out of my head.
What?
When Smokey sings. Oh, excuse me, folks. I apologize. Oh, God. Dusty's back. Dusty's in, everyone. I had the instructions when I sent it, but I can't send the PDF an email. You basically just need to buy the vertical tubes for refill. So if I take the lid off, I'll be able to see what it is inside. That's what I'll do.
Why are you making it so difficult?
Why don't you not attack me when I'm on live with the fans? Why don't you save your deprecation?
Wow.
I went to college for when I'm offline. Oh, God. Phil thought that was a very nice rip, meaning my burp, not your attack.
Oh, he scared me this morning.
Phil?
No, you, remember? In the burp?
Oh, yeah, we were driving. I had an amount of gas built up in me that I was afraid was going to cause a bodily rupture. So I just let it go. And it was loud and fierce, and she screamed.
It just came out of nowhere.
Dorothy, one of the cousin Dorothy's nurses, is like 5 feet tall. And she's kind of a solid woman. I think she could take me. So I didn't start no shit up there.
Probably a good idea.
Darty's now on the first floor, which means she's a long-term resident. And I walked down that hallway today and was confronted with quite a few people. All right, Cherie, stop mocking me for being a moron. See, we can do live broadcasts while on the road, but they would be at like 7 in the morning. I've been on for an hour and 8 minutes, folks. Little T said he would do something for Uncle's Day. Have Little T record a cameo for me. And I want him to say, we're up to 72 viewers, Hal.
Boy.
Climbing.
Boy, howdy.
Our all-time record was 180.
Really?
Yeah.
When was that?
Well, about a month ago. I was on fire that night.
I bet you were. Were you ranting about something?
Probably.
Did you tell them that I approve of this weather that we have tonight?
Holly, if you heard her in Biggins Drive Time, where she said, I effing hate summer. She says that tonight's weather she approves of.
Yes.
Because, hey, Google, what's the temperature? I can't hear what it said.
It says it's 72.
72. And it's not breezy out. Earlier it was breezy. I ought to go outside and mow the lawn.
No.
I'm not doing that tonight. Every day, except for today, I mow a portion of the lawn. And I've only got a push mower right now because the riding mower is not a bonus right now.
Bonus.
Bonus! I don't have any hesitation, even though I have neighbors over there. I have no hesitation about yelling because they're the loudest people.
And they're obnoxious, and she sings and she shouldn't sing. And they have animals and they shouldn't have animals.
Well, you heard that controversial opinion. Hopefully they're not watching this broadcast.
It's my opinion and my opinion alone, not necessarily reflective of that one over there.
I'm that one.
You're hot, is what you are.
By the way, Holly burps too.
I do not.
Oh, that your ass. Oh, that reminds me of the story. I let your ass go on an employee of Acme. Yesterday, I go on Acme to pick up like one or two things. And when I get up front, the front end supervisor says, "Oh, there you are, the line cutter." I said, "What?" And she says, "That little yesterday, you cut in line." I said, "Your ass." I said, "I haven't been in Little in 2 months." "Oh, then you have a doppelganger." I said, "There ain't no way there's something this good looking in the area." But I was accused of cutting in the line at a supermarket. I rarely. They used to Little, when you walk in the front door, they have a bakery right up front. And they used to have these macadamia nut cookies that were off the hook. The pandemic came and they stopped making them. They stopped making all cookies, but they stopped making them, saying there was a shortage. Well, that shit's over. They just decided not to sell them anymore. They sell croissants, which she likes.
I love them.
Well, I ought to go back and say to them, "Listen, I want a couple free croissants," because I was accosted the other day in Acme. Someone said I cut in line here. "Do you have tapes?" And I want to go through the tapes and see who looks like me. We went to this fair in Summers Point on Saturday. It's a little outdoor thing, and it's called like a farmer's market or something. And Tracy Crystal was telling us about the yard sale. And Holly and I are now Aunt Holly and Uncle Nigel to Little T.
I always wanted to be an aunt.
Well, your uncle adjacent, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 3. I got 2 nephews and a niece, and I've got 2 great nieces and a nephew, great nephew. Tracy, I heard you got your Frankenstein starter kit. Did you like it? And I hope you're feeling good. We're on the back deck. It's 72 degrees. There's no humidity. We watched 2 episodes of House of Dragon.
So we're up to we watched number 5.
We watched 5. Even if you have to lip sync, Crystal, you put Little T on there and you say, "Happy Father's Day, Uncle Nigel." No, I don't have any Greek relatives. My I have a Chinese niece, and she's, yes, Crystal. I have a Chinese niece, and she has a PhD, and she's the sweetest person in the world. And I have my niece just got engaged like a couple. Did I burn this, or is that? Did I burn my T-shirt? Son of a bitch. I have my nephew, future nephew-in-law, is Puerto Rican. Nicest guy. And I told his father and his grandma love me because the grandmother doesn't speak a lot of English. Whole rest of the family does, but the grandmother doesn't. And at their my nephew to be is a musician. So he went to college for music, and he's now got his master's degree in something related to music. And he, after his concert, like they have part of graduation, they have to do a concert, like themselves performing with backup. But he was the featured person in it because it was for his class. And afterwards, they had like food in a room, and it was and went up and I forget what it was that I ate, but I said, "Oh my God, who made this?" My 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 grandmother made it. So I went over and he says she doesn't speak English. So through the father, I told her, "You could sell this stuff. It's so good." "Oh, thank you," she said. And then I said, "Pops, would you mind translating a story for me?" And he's laughing already. I said, "This is a true story. I worked for this looks like a breast. Ugh, I got to start wearing darker colors." I told this story that I worked in Puerto Rico for 6 weeks. And while I was there, we had weekends off. So, you know how here, when you drive, everybody's got a big city. If you don't live in a big city, you live near a big city. And you know how when you're approaching it on the highway, there will be multiple exits? Like here, when we go up north towards New York, you'll see exit for New York City, another exit, New York City, Lincoln Tunnel, Holland Tunnel, Verrazano Bridge, New York, New York. There's like 5 exits for New York. Down here, you'll have 3 exits for Atlantic City. North Atlantic City or Atlantic City, Marina District, Atlantic City, Midtown, Atlantic City, Southern. So you'll have multiple exits for the same town. Well, we're driving across the island of Puerto Rico to go visit the city named Ponce. And as we're driving, I say, now when I say this, good night, Ronnie, thanks for joining us. As I tell you this, those of you that speak Spanish are going to get it right away. So let me finish. As we're driving, every exit is for this town named Salida for an hour. Every exit is for this town named Salida. So we pull off, we go into a Wendy's to get lunch, a drive-through, and as we're pulling out, the sign says Salida. So I'm with this guy, Tony. I said, "Tony, can you believe even the exit sign?" Or I said, "Tony, look at that." And he sees that says Salida. And he says, "You mean to tell me even the exit sound?" Oh, Tracy, thank you so much. You mean to tell me even the exit sign of Wendy's tells you the town you're pulling into? I said, "Tony, Salida is the word for exit." Or as I was corrected, Salida. It's not Salida, it's Salida. So here we thought we were seeing exits for this gigantic city that stretched the whole length of the island of Puerto Rico called Salida. But it was actually the word for exit. And the father got the biggest laugh out of that. He translated for the grandma. She got a laugh out. And now we're like this. I can't wait for this wedding. They haven't set a date yet, but they're just the nicest people. I'm making a new banner.
Oh, hello. Hello. You're back. Your breath smells like a dead body, Sable, but I love you anyway. Just remember that. You, a special girl. A special girl.
Hang on. Here we go. Tracy, I don't know what I did that has made you be so generous to Bad Ben, but everybody who enjoys a Bad Ben um, needs to thank Tracy Pinkerton because I wouldn't have been able to make the last three movies without her support. And Crystal, you too. Thank you. So, if everybody could take a moment to thank Tracy and to thank who else we have tonight? We got from Sarah and from Janaea. You guys got me there tonight. So, Tracy, I know you're in the on YouTube, but oh well, you can see the screen. Fender thanks you, and I couldn't do it. She says, "I love helping you make them, Nigel," and I, Tracy, I couldn't have done it without you. Let's put it this way: I couldn't have done it in this house. I would have had to do it from a tent under the boardwalk. And it's appropriate that you guys should know that in Tracy has a lot of heart and has helped me tremendously. And it's you should only know that it's appropriate that the heart in Bad Ben Frankenstein is going to be from Tracy, but she's not really dead, so you know. And she's given me carte blanche to make up the backstory. Phil says thanks, Tracy. Everybody who's in here, whose name I say, has helped. I've gotten donations from Cherie. She was in Alien Agenda. She said, "Holy shnikes." She was out there with her son when the UFO flew over. Ronnie's donated and bought stuff. Phil has. Fender has. Glock, that's the screen name. I don't recognize the screen name, so I don't know what your actual name is. But all of you guys, it's very humbling, I'll tell you, that you guys support me the way you do so I can make these things for you. By the way, I want to make a Frankenstein t-shirt. And I want to make it using the silhouette of our Frankenstein. And it's just going to say Bad Ben Frankenstein, some assembly required. Would you guys, it's Scott. All right, Scott. Is it a Scott I know? You're not Jackson Scott, are you? No. Okay. Well, thank you, Scott, for being a part of our broadcast. If I got that t shirt, Now, because it's summer, if see what I would want to get it in white, and because white t-shirts are, I always like to make the Bad Ben t-shirts black because it's like horror and comedy horror. But I would make these white because it's summer. But the one thing I don't do is I don't say Bad Ben 14. I would say Bad Ben Frankenstein, some assembly required. Um, and the reason why I do it that way is because, like, whenever I never buy things that say, I always want things like 14 makes it sound like, well, where's 13 or 12 or 11, or it's part of the series. Whereas Bad Ben Frankenstein, it's part of a series, but it won't say Bad Ben 14. Well, I appreciate that, Crystal. And I've often told you, as long as you keep watching, I'll keep making. And the setup for 15 is just, let's put it this way. In the very final moments of Bad Ben 14, you will know what Bad Ben 15 is. We've done that just about every film. At the end of Bad Ben 13, you see the box from Ramazan get dropped. And although we didn't allude to Frankenstein, we talked about it. At the end of Undead, well, at the end of Eulogy, the first movie Scott was with me in, you see us talk about, well, I've defeated Pazuzu, I've defeated ghosts and demons and blah, blah. And I said, but we haven't faced aliens. And then the beam comes down, sucks us up. That was setting up Alien Agenda. And at the end of Alien Agenda, what was after? Yeah, that set up Alien Agenda, which was 12. Am I missing one? Eulogy ended with, the Dracula situation. At the end of Alien Agenda, I just say that I am buying the house back. And then we start with the Dracula situation. And then at the end of the Dracula situation, you see the box get dropped on the front lawn. And I talk about how, well, that sets up for 14, where all the boxes are delivered. And you've seen that with Mitch bringing up the boxes. So the end of 14, it will be very clear what 15 is about. And I do need to thank you, Crystal, and I do need to thank Tracy. I do need to thank everybody. Holly, is there any stories I haven't told? That's the funny part of the story, Glock. You asked, why would Tom go back to house that had all those problems? Tom is constantly motivated by by money. Like in six, like in one, he bought the house at a sheriff's sale. Two, Steelmanville Road was a prequel. And at the end, you see him coming up to set up the first movie. And then three was Badder Ben. He wouldn't come back to it. Turns out he wasn't dead, but the team of paranormal investigators was doing a documentary on the house, and they located Tom and offered to pay him to come back to do an interview in the house. Four was the Mandela effect, in which I kept repeating the same cycle over and over again, going back to the house multiple times. Five, there were new owners of the house. And at the end, Tom was still able to access the cameras and saw that Jetta was under attack, so he came in to help her. In six, there was a new owner of the house, Emily May, and she hired Tom to get into the house and cleanse it of demons before she moved her family in. And then seven, Tom became a driver for drop you off like Uber or Lyft. And strangely enough, these people he was picking up were having him take them to this house, because there was a party here being held by a vampire who was Lionel. And anyway, that's why Tom was back at the house. 8, Pandemic, was so much fun because I couldn't bring people over. We were all on lockdown. So what I did was I reached out to the fans and said, hey, whoever has an interest in being in this and can film your own segment. And I did. I had a ton of fans shoot their own stuff. And then it was me, like, trying to be a paranormal investigator. And they were sending me videos of what they were experiencing. And I was trying to decipher for them whether it was the virus or it was something paranormal. So 8 was a lot of fun. And at the end of 8, I got shot. Then 9, I still think I had the house. But 9, you find out at the end, I was dead the whole time. Because I'm in the house, stuff keeps moving, stuff's happening. And I don't know what. Well, it turns out Holly's in the house as the owner. And she can't see me, but the dogs can see me. So I walk out of the house. And then 10 is when we first meet Scott. And Scott was, my favorite line, Jeff, in Pandemic was where I said, what the hell is her name? Ann Starling has the spider. And I'm saying, for fuck's sake. And anyway. And what was her name? I can't remember her name. But she was the one who picked up the mask with like bloody sputum in it. And I wish I could remember her name. Fox, I think, is her last name. She is a stand-up comedian, and I saw her shit on YouTube, and it was absolutely hysterical. And so 9 was Pandemic. I'm going through, and I get rid of Pazuzu, and I get thrown, and that's when the 2 Toms come in. And also, for those of you that don't know, the version of Haunted Highway, film 7, which is on Amazon, is only an hour and 10 minutes. The version on Bad Ben TV is an hour and like 35 or an hour and 40 minutes. And it includes the multiple parallel universes. Tom Riley's come in, 3 Tom Rileys meet, and also the werewolf. So 9 was benign, and I didn't know I was dead till the end. Then 10 is when we meet Scott, and what a great addition he's been to the series. And he's runs a video podcast, and he is doing a documentary on Tom Riley in the house, and that's when he discovers the way to bring me back. And at the end of 10, you see us walking out of the house, and that's when we see the zombies. And then 11 was when we're dealing with the zombie outbreak, and we're at the zoo, and we're back here. And then 12 was Alien Agenda. And one of my favorite scenes of all times to shoot was the alien birth. And I got to meet not only Scott, but also all the way back to 7 was Josh Robert Thompson, the voice of the car, Morgan Freeman's voice. And then we did Alien Agenda. And then the Dracula situation, we got to meet Jared Smith Knowles. And he did great. It was first ever time acting. And I wanted an actor that was taller than me because I thought Dracula should be taller. And Jared was. And he had long hair. He was an awesome Dracula. And then 14 is where we're at now, which is Frankenstein. And Holly winds up in the premise to 13 is Holly winds up selling the house because she had Dracula. She had leased a space to Dracula. And anyway, she got out, and that's why Tom bought it back. And because he still thinks he can make money off this house. And then 14, I wanted a Frankenstein that was taller than me also. And this guy who plays our Frankenstein is a lot taller than all of us. Thank you for saying that. Do they have a script for all of them, or did you have to improvise based on what they recorded? No, in pandemic, I allowed the people that contributed to film their own segments. I gave them a little story, allowed them all to film their own segments, and then I made it look like we were interacting. And I based what I said, I improvised based on what video they shot. The only one we had a full script for was Steelmanville Road. Badder Ben had a script also, but it was kind of like an outline. Like, for instance, when Schmitty does the scene saying he's Tristan Carmichael, his was all improvised, that part. When we did Eulogy, which was number 10, well, 5 had a script too for Jetta. There was some improv in there, but 5 had a script. 6, I improvised the whole thing. 7, I would tell the passengers I was picking up, this is what's happening, and that was mostly improvised. 8, they were able to shoot whatever they want, and then I put, like I said, I interacted with them. 9 had an outline, but no script. 10 started with a script, and I gave it to Scott. And that first night, he had his lines totally memorized because he's a total pro. Who, by the way, like I told you, started his class today at Stella Adler. And good night, Crystal. Thank you so much. Well, and Lil T says good night to Uncle Holly and Aunt Holly.
Good night.
Aunt Holly Michael. And then she says, ignore the word after Holly's name. Good night. And then 9 was like an hour. Well, 10, Scott had those first lines memorized. And then I said to him, would you be like comfortable if we improvise a lot of this? And he said, sure, we could try it. So we improvised 10. 11 was undead. We improvised a lot of that. There was an outline for it. Like the part in the shed where I have he reads the he reads the spell into a mirror, which is to reverse it. And I grab my chest and I fall and I say, oh, he says, oh my God, Tom, are you all right? And I said, yeah, I'm all right. I'm just like one of those fainting goats. That was improvised. Like, for instance, when I say, what in the mother of all fucks was that? When the thing in, I think it was 6, came hopping down the hallway.
Yeah.
That was improvised. Uh, Bonus was improvised. That was way back in the first film. So many of the lines that people like to throw back at me are improvised. And then most of 11 was improvised. And there's an outtake from 11 I have to find again and show you guys, which is just, it's on Instagram. It's where Scott doesn't break character, and I do. I'm cracking up because I say, let's dig them up. And 12 was Alien Agenda, and most of that was improvised. And we had the plan for the birth scene, but I don't know if I ever told you this story. Where I'm sitting right now, directly out in front of me, about 200 feet, 250 feet, is where we shot the alien birth. But it was supposed to be shot over there. And we had the whole set up. Well, you guys remember meeting Pat when we had the live broadcast in here and he couldn't get his Instagram name right? Pat played the mother alien. Well, this house has 5 bathrooms in it, 2 of which are never touched, 1 of which is rarely touched, and 2 of which are frequently used. But the house is too big, but it's also the studio, so that's how we justify it. But in that, while we're out back, and I've got everything set up over there to shoot the place where the aliens to lay down, her, where the camera's inside of her, and Scott's going in to like deliver the baby. And Pat disappeared for a minute. And he comes back. Pat had a pee. So rather than say, can I use your bathroom? He went over and he peed right where we were shooting, where we were going to shoot. So we had to move everything, but the location where we moved it worked out better anyway. But the stuff about bringing out the weed whacker and the clippers and all the stuff, that was all improvised. 13, Jared requested lines all the time, the Dracula, which we gave him, but a lot of that was improvised too. And 14, not all of it was improvised so far in part 1. Most of part 2 is just me, so you'll see a lot of that improvised. And the final part of 14 will have a lot of improvisation also. But Frankenstein is doing his first real acting gig also, so I've got to have some lines for him. But a lot of his lines are grunting. And Tracy, did you like in your Frankenstein starter kit the little bonus that we didn't show in the commercial or even on the place where you can buy it? You know, I'm talking about the little Ziploc bag. So I was wondering if I was going to get a text from Scott tonight to tell me how his first day went. I don't want to bug him, but if I don't hear from that son of a bitch by Friday, I'm texting him. Holly's laughing at me. And Bad Ben TV, having that channel, and the fact that you can also watch this live as it's being broadcast on Bad Ben TV. And that's going to be a big deal. Like when I have, because we're trying to grow the channel. So when I go to bring in guests,
Did you tell them that I said I'd be one of your guests?
Holly's going to be one of the guests too. Braless?
Whatever you want.
Wow. Whatever I want. We're setting up a poll. But when I do that, that's just going to be Bad Ben TV. Actually, you'll be able to see it, but not as good as seeing it on Bad Ben TV. But our planned guests are Josh Thompson. We're going to have Mitch, Scott, and I. We're going to do a Access Paranormal ghost hunt. We're going to have. I'm going to try and get Aaron back on, who did Chest and Jacob's Hell. I'm going to try and get Jed Bryan to come on, who did Unlisted Owner and is working on a bunch of other things. And get some more of the independent producers out there. We're going to have Michael, who owns POV Horror, and he's going to come in and talk about his channel. And he's also going to bring on his chickens. Michael raises chickens.
I want a baby Highland cow.
Holly wants a baby cow. A lot of those videos have been popping up in our feeds. Hal, I've got a request for you.
What?
I'm going to talk for 11 more minutes. And then, because it's so nice out here, I'd like to watch an episode of The Sopranos. Okay. I think we're on season 1, episode 10 or something.
Episode 14.
14?
The last episode of the season.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, we have a lot of guests coming up. What night of the week do you think I should do that? Friday night? Saturday night?
Friday.
Friday night? I would have to do it at 9, though, because people out west that watch. The only problem with doing a live broadcast at 9 o'clock is when I do the Access Paranormal folks, which they will do a live paranormal investigation. It would be 2 a.m. there. Have you seen the show before or rewatching? What is that?
The Sopranos, probably.
We're rewatching it. Oh, okay, Jackson. I'm sorry. We're rewatching. Thank God I got Holly here to translate for me. We're rewatching it, like I'm rewatching it. She's seen a lot of the episodes, but not all of them.
Some of them.
She's seen some of them. But we're rewatching. I am. But yes, we saw The Many Saints of Newark with James Gandolfini's son. And did you know they're doing like a 3 or 6 part series with James Gandolfini's son? And you know something, and this is a spoiler, so stop listening if you don't want to hear a spoiler from The Many Saints of Newark. I never knew that Uncle Junior killed Chris Moltisante's dad. You didn't know that till Many Saints of Newark.
Well, now I guess you know it now.
I warned him it was a spoiler. How dare you mock me from over there in the comfort of your chair?
Don't be nasty to me.
Jackson, is this your first time in here, Jackson's first time I remember seeing you? If it is, welcome. If not, welcome back. I don't care what you say anymore, 'cause it's my life. Go ahead with your own life. Leave me alone.
That's a very rude song, I always thought.
Which one? I don't care what you say. I didn't mean to be rude. Happy to be here, Jackson says. We're happy to have you. But I am going to have to go down and reset these cameras. So, anyway, folks, been on for almost 2 hours here. Thank you for your donations. Tracy, thank you. Phil, thank you. Crystal, thank you. There were 2 people from last. Oh, Janaea, thank you. Shit, I can't. Janaea's daughter, thank you. I'm sorry. Sarah. Marlena, I'm sorry, but thank you. You're one of the few people on X that has that ever comments. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to end this broadcast now tonight. We're going to watch an episode 14 from season 1 of The Sopranos. So, see ya. Love ya. Bye for now.